Are you ready for the next lesson? This is another lesson in the planning performance domain, and here we're going to look deeper into the planning variables. What are the variables that we have to consider when we are developing the project management plan? So let's have a look at those different planning variables. The first planning variable is the development approach. We have to look at what type of planning is needed, how much, how will we plan, what are the elements, when will be the planning conducted. The development approach is different for predictive, iterative, incremental, and adaptive project cycles. So we have to first understand what type of cycle we are considering, and from that moment on, we can look at the development approach typically for that project cycle. We look at the project deliverables. What is the type of deliverables that will be created? Do we have a product that has to be completed, or do we have intermediate steps that we can complete? All the different elements related to the deliverables are in fact very important when we look at planning, and it's part of the planning variables. We look at the organizational requirements. Now, when we look at projects, they are conducted within an organization, and an organization has policies, procedures, processes, and a specific culture. Understanding the organization and its requirement is a very important planning variable. We have more variables to come. We have the market condition. Now, when we look at markets, we have to consider that we may be in a very competitive market. Do we have a competitive advantage over your competitors? What is the importance here? How urgent is the project? We can select a different and iterative approach when we want to be on the market before our competitors and then improve what we offer. Now, we also have to look at the market conditions when we look at the upfront planning. When we have the time, when there is no competition going on, we can take all the time for our planning. But when we see that our competitors are also pushing different products that could compete with our product or service, we may have to reconsider the type of planning, how much upfront planning we will need. Another element are legal or regulatory restrictions. We may have projects under specific legal requirements, and in that case, we have to fulfill those legal requirements before starting with a project or even continuing with it. Regulatory agencies may require specific documents to be completed before granting permissions. A typical example is the buildings, or when we want to construct some infrastructure, it may need an approval from the building agencies of the town or from the region where we are doing the project. There may be other elements. For example, when we want to put a factory somewhere, we have to conduct some environmental studies before we can continue with the project. So these are all legal or regulatory restrictions that we have to consider when we are planning the project, and they're part of the planning variables. So that's it for the video, for this lesson about the planning variables. We will continue with this in the next lesson. We're going to look at the delivery. What about the delivery? How does it have an impact on the planning variables? So this is the end of this lesson. Keep up the good work. Thank you for watching, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next lesson. Bye-bye.